Rescue efforts are underway in western Japan after a powerful earthquake caused widespread damage and triggered tsunami warnings. At least 8 people have been killed in and around the epicenter of the earthquake. Axel Zamovich reports.
These are the moments a magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck western Japan. The ground shakes for nearly a minute. In the city of Wajima, near the epicenter of Ishikawa prefecture, downed power lines sparked fires. But across Japan's western coast, there was another threat.
A major tsunami warning is in effect for Noto, Ishikawa prefecture. We are currently observing a large tsunami. People near the shoreline and riverbanks, please evacuate to higher ground.
Nearly 13 years after a tsunami and the most powerful earthquake ever recorded in Japan killed more than 20,000, people here are scared and run to hide.
The whole room was shaking, the TV was shaking. I had to keep everything on the table. I did feel safe in my room though, but everything else was shaking.
The impact of the quake leaves homes in ruins, roads fractured, and debris scattered across streets.
I have received reports that very large-scale damage has been confirmed so far, including numerous human casualties, building collapses, and fires.
That prompted concerns about the safety of nearby nuclear power plants, played down by Japan's nuclear watchdog.
There are currently no reported irregularities with nuclear power plants.
But the threat is not over. Seismologists are warning of possible aftershocks or another strong earthquake and say they could happen at any moment. Axel Zamovich, Al Jazeera.
We're joined from Kanazawa by Eunice Kim for more on this. What's the latest, Eunice?
Yeah, so we've since moved to a different part of Kanazawa. This is a residential enclave, and I'm going to just step out of frame for our cameraman to show you the aftermath of that magnitude 7.6 quake, although the power in this area was probably closer to magnitude 5, but you can see just the damage, the ground giving way under these homes, and entangled among them are cars. You can see a car just squashed under a dislocated home. And neighbors here say that there were people inside of these homes when the ground shook. But as far as they know, nobody have died, thankfully, from this amazing scene here. Neighbors say that gas and water are still cut. So we see staffers here trying to kind of bring some semblance of order into this residential enclave, but they say that they have managed to get power back. But Ishikawa is a coastal prefecture of some 1 million people along the west of Japan's main island of Honshu. This is the region that has taken much of the damage, not to mention tremors and aftershocks from that New Year's Day quake. And on the north is the epicenter of this quake, Noto Peninsula. And according to Japan's public broadcaster, NHK, most of the known fatalities are being confirmed in Wajima City, also on the northern tip of the prefecture, where that fire had broken out on Monday. And among the deceased are people in their teens into their 90s. But the hardest hit Noto remains largely out of reach, as main roads that connect to that horn-shaped peninsula remain damaged. And this is also affecting rescue efforts. As you can imagine, communication lines have also been impacted. So while the Japanese people are very resilient to earthquakes, it is also inevitable, or it is indeed in the back of people's minds, the possibility of strong afterquakes, aftershocks rather, as the weather agency here in Japan are warning people to stay away from the coastal areas, at least for the next week, in particular in the coming few days.
Eunice, we've only got about 30 seconds on this, but I just wanted to ask, I mean, the scale of I know that people in Japan have experienced earthquakes before, obviously, but the scale of this is significant. How is the government dealing with this?
Right, so Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said that he's heading up an emergency disaster response headquarters. They're in touch with local officials and discussing how to go about these rescue efforts and dispatch the self-defense forces as well as fire and police personnel. But he admits that this is a great challenge, and aerial footage from helicopters show that there are spots of fires and infrastructure damage, as well as what he says extremely large-scale damage. So we're just beginning to see some of those damage.
Eunice, thank you very much indeed. Eunice Kim in Kanazawa, thank you.